The Miami Dolphins just got great news heading into NFL Week 7 before their matchup against the Indianapolis Colts that honestly will help them win this football game and improve their record to 3-3. You might be wondering, what is that great news? Well, let me tell you, and it's actually who the Colts are starting at quarterback. Anthony Richardson has been out since Week 4 with an oblique injury. He missed the last 2 weeks, and many people were wondering when he was going to return. Apparently, he could have potentially played last week, but they held him out another week just to make sure he gets fully healthy. And Colts head coach Shane Steichen told reporters that A-Rich will play this Sunday against the Dolphins if he doesn't suffer any setbacks from his oblique injury. And at the point of filming this, there has been no setbacks, which means Anthony Richardson will be the starting quarterback. And I believe that is actually good news for the Miami Dolphins. We'll explain why in just a second. But I want to get your quick temperature on the matter. Which quarterback would you prefer to face from the Indianapolis Colts? Would it be Anthony Richardson? Type those ARs. That means you would be like me. Or if you think I'm wrong and you'd rather play Joe Flacco, type those JFs. I think Anthony Richardson makes an easier matchup for Miami. And although he's got that added dynamic with his legs and he's a really good runner of the football, there's no debating that, Joe Flacco is a better quarterback. It's just a simple fact of the matter. Like, look at what Anthony Richardson has done this season. It's been pretty bad, man. And he's only played in 3 1/4 games, 50% completion percentage. Yes, 50%. He's thrown 6 interceptions. I think he actually is the most inaccurate quarterback in all of football. Between him, Will Levis, Bryce Young when he was playing, like Anthony Richardson will just have these head-scratching misses where you're watching him. There's really not that much pressure in the pocket. And his footwork just goes awry, and he throws it either wide left like Scott Norwood or way over his head, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing? It's been very interesting to watch the former top 5 pick, second-year man play this season. And when you really dive into the numbers, he is horrifically inefficient at throwing the football. Here is his pass chart this season, and for whatever reason, he really struggles in the intermediate passes, right? You see the outside left about 10 yards down the field, 2 of 6 completing. You see it down the right side. He's actually decent in the middle of the field, and that has really been his calling card, is his ability to hit over the middle of the field. But he just misses too much on the outside on the hashes. And he's hit some big plays, especially in week 1. He had a crazy pass to Alec Pierce. There's no doubt about that. But he's been inefficient, and it's been odd to watch this guy miss more passes over the middle of the field, or to be on the boundary over the next 10, 15 yards, rather than when he's actually hitting at a better rate in the 20-yard deep passes. Fascinating quarterback to watch, and you can just see, based off his numbers, how inefficient he is. All right, we're going to continue the conversation here, but for more Dolphins news, rumors, daily content, we are the channel for you, and we are live for every single game as well. So hit that sub button and join the channel because we're dropping everything you need surrounding the Miami Dolphins. Another reason why Anthony Richardson is probably the better quarterback for the Dolphins to face is that he just crumbles under pressure. He has been horrible under pressure all season long for the Indianapolis Colts. He's been pressured 28.7% of his dropbacks, and he has an under 50% completion percentage. No surprise there, considering his standard completion percentage is only 50. He's thrown 2 picks to 1 touchdown, and here is the important number to me. In his throws that he's had, so he's had 19 attempts, right? He has 11.1% of them turnover-worthy plays. That comes to about 3 of them. So 3 out of 19 of his attempts, while pressured, comes out to be a turnover-worthy play where he's putting the ball in harm's way. And the Dolphins have not really turned their opponents over that much this year. They've had a couple key turnovers that they forced, but they haven't done it at a big-time volume. But when you really look at the pass chart, you look at the numbers from Anthony Richardson, it's very obvious. If you're able to get pressure on A-Rich, whether it's blitz, whether it's just standard 4-man pressure, that Colts offense takes a little bit of a downhill dip, and they struggle a lot more to move the ball through the air. Now, they are one of the better running offenses in football. Jonathan Taylor gets going at times, and when him and Richardson are both healthy, it's a dynamic duo there in the backfield. But over the general part of the offense, Anthony Richardson's Indianapolis Colts offense has really struggled this season, and you get pressure on them, you're likely going to hold them to fewer points. More to talk about here in just a second, but we are sponsored on today's show by PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports platform. I play PrizePicks on a daily basis because they have so many cool features that allow you to have the best time playing daily fantasy sports. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. It's the best place to get real money on sports action. Join over 10 million users today and sign up. PrizePicks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts player projections selectively up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. It's the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. I have so many different entries for NFL Week 7. Here is one of them. More than Drake May, 179.5 passing yards. That Jaguars defense stinks. Drake May threw for 230-plus against the Texans in his debut. And also take more than on Bijan Robinson, 67.5 rushing yards against the Seattle Seahawks. You can take picks like mine. You can take picks like celebrities, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Joe Budden, Drewski when you go to their communities plays under their promos tab. Either way, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app, create an account, use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Since Anthony Richardson has already been named the starter, barring injury this week, I can confidently say that if Joe Flacco was the starter, he would have concerned me a lot more. Flacco has not played as many games as Anthony Richardson. He just came in halfway through Game 4, then was here for Game 5 and Game 6, so he's played 2.5 games, and his numbers are better than Anthony Richardson. Yes, by quite a lot. 15% better completion percentage. 100 more yards, 7 touchdowns to 1 interception in comparison to Anthony Richardson's 3 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. The QB rating is good. The QBR is really good. And when you look at Joe Flacco's pass chart, actually a little bit different than Anthony Richardson's. He doesn't hit on the deep ball as much, but between 0 and 20 yards, he is elite. Look at him over the middle of the field on these checkdowns. 24 of 27 for 183 yards. Even past the line or 10-yard mark over the middle of the field, 7 of 9 for 138 yards. He is so efficient in between the sticks, 0 to 10 yards, 8 of 12, 24 of 27, 10 and 11. He's been really good for the Colts, and you can tell that he has a good rapport with slot receiver Josh Downs because Josh Downs in the last 3 weeks has been one of the best wide receivers in all football, scoring 2 touchdowns, having almost 100 yards in a couple games because him and Flacco get it done over the middle of the field. And I just want to take a quick look when you compare the 2 pass charts this season between Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco. It's very clear to me that when you look at these 2 quarterbacks playing in 2024, in the pure throwing of the football, the guy on the right, which is Joe Flacco, is a much more efficient and much better thrower of the football and passer than the man on the left. And that is why, to me, the evidence is clear as day. I would rather be playing Anthony Richardson for the Indianapolis Colts than Joe Flacco. And I think it's awesome that Shane Steichen's going back to A-Rich. I get they have to do that because they drafted him inside the top 10 in the draft 2 years ago, and they got to develop him. But for a pure week-to-week basis, Joe Flacco gives them the best chance to win. So the Dolphins getting to play Anthony Richardson at quarterback is much better than having to play Joe Flacco. After seeing the numbers, seeing the statistics, are you with me? Do you agree that you should be happy with Anthony Richardson starting? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Like I mentioned, Anthony Richardson is the more dynamic player. But Joe Flacco is absolutely the better quarterback at this point in their individual career. Sure, the mobility of Anthony Richardson scares me. It does because the Dolphins have actually had some struggles in the past defending mobile quarterbacks. But I'm going to choose to believe the Dolphins defense is going to get the job done this week. No Javon Holland, but they're relatively healthy across the board everywhere else for players not on IR or the PUP list. So I think this Dolphins defense is going to have most of their ammunition to throw at Anthony Richardson, and I hope that Anthony Weaver dials up a little bit more blitzes. Going into the bye week, the Dolphins ranked 15th in the NFL in blitz percentage. I'd like to see that number go up as the season progresses, and specifically this week when they play the Anthony Richardson-led Colts, who struggles against pressure and struggles against the blitz. They don't have that veteran that knows how to pick them apart with slot receiver Josh Downs and is accurate in the intermediate passing game. They're going against Anthony Richardson. which tells me the Dolphins should win this football game. Hit that sub button. Lock us in here at Dolphins Today for the best coverage on YouTube surrounding the Miami Dolphins, as well as going live for every single game. Join the channel. We won't disappoint.